अदा मुझो नालो सिकंदर अली आहे। मां पाण दादू जो आहियां ऐं रहां नॉर्वे में पियो। तक़रीबन मूंखे 10 साल नॉर्वे में थी विया। मां एज़ अ फुलब्राइट स्कॉलर नॉर्वे मां हिते USA आयल आहियां ऐं हाणे मां रहंदो आहियां यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ बुफलो में कमु कंदो आहियां एज़ विज़िटिंग प्रोफेसर आहियां हुते ऐं बुफलो में रहां पियो। ऐं स्पेशली मूंखे ॾाढी ख़ुशी थी आहे त सिंध यूथ कॉन्फ्रेंस जेका ऑर्गेनाइज़ कई पई वञे न्यू जर्सी में, साईं अलीसन भुट्टो ऐं ॿिया हुन जा साथी जेके हुन कॉन्फ्रेंस में कोशिशि कई आहे त माना सिंध जो जेको टैलेंट आहे उन खे गॾु कजे ऐं उन्हनि जे लाइ ग्रोथ लाइ कमु कजे। मां सम्झां त इहो हिकिड़ी वॾी अहम एफर्ट आहे ऐं असांखे इन एफर्ट खे वर्ल्ड वाइड ठाहिणु घुरिजे, न सिर्फ़ु इहो बल्कि सॼी दुनिया में अहिड़ी एफर्ट करणु घुरिजे त जीअं असांजो टैलेंट जेको आहे उनखे वधीक सपोर्ट ॾिजे ऐं उनखे अॻिते वधाइजे। त इंशाल्लाह आई एम लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू सी मोस्ट ऑफ आवर फ्रेंड्स एंड colleagues tomorrow and looking forward to interact with all of you. Thank you so much. My name is Sikandar and greetings from Buffalo.
Dr. Sikandar Babbar sahab to come on the stage. To begin, Dr. Sikandar I would like to talk about your functions, but before that I would like to request our professor and from Norway, he's from Norway, and now he's doing some, he's also a Fulbright scholar by the way. It's the Sikandar Babbar sahab from Dadu. So come on and say, this is Sikandar. First of all, I'm extremely happy and feeling privileged to be a part of this gathering, because the stories that you share, these are not the stories, but these are the stories, they create the realities. We should not forget that. Because if you see the reality, for example, restaurant itself is a reality. But these are buildings, these are walls. Who occupy these walls, who sits inside, and what kind of story you tell, create a whole new reality. Never forget that these realities are always made and remade and reimagined and rethought. So I really believe that these are very important stories. And maybe I can share a little bit of story about myself, a little bit, because it's a long story. Because I'm a mathematician by background, with a very strong interest in philosophy. So imagine, in philosopher they always question everything, they never get settled. And I see this spirit everywhere. We are all not settled. And please don't be settled. Always think about not yet. And one of the not yet story Hassan Sahab told us about, for example, artificial intelligence. Coming just like a strong flow and changing everything. And I tell you, still, it takes years to understand where it goes. But I tell you, it will transform everything. Remember my words, I'm predicting this. So I'll tell you a little bit a story about the not yet. Let me tell you a little bit the beginning. My father, he died in 2010. His name was Babbar. And he was from the place called Gajisha, Kacho district in Dadu. Very desert area, and he has to go 3 kilometers to bring drinking water for the family, and I'm the son of that person. Just 3 kilometers drinking water was not accessible for us, to be honest, and his only desire was how could he send me to the school. And then there come flood in that area, and he came to Dadu, and of course he has to move because of the flood. So that was a necessity. But he sent me to the school, and I was able to read, and I was able to connect, to make new friends, and I was able to get wonderful teachers. And to be honest, I consider Sai as a teacher. To be honest. Reason, because he is available, and that is what the teacher do. Because what they do, they give a message. And again, importance of communication. And communication, what we do, we tell the stories. We share the message. So believe me, what story you want to tell? One story is, it's not possible. Other story is, if it is not possible, why is it not possible? That is the story of the philosopher. So turn any question, any challenge as an opportunity. Even though we don't have answer at this moment of time. But still it's a question. So from there I learned that I was learning two more things. Like I was privileged to get wonderful teachers. And one of the teacher was, when I was living in Talu, I was very active in Sindhi Sangha. I am a product of Sindhi Sangha, to be honest. We were sitting in this kind of kachari without any distinction who you are. This was like you sit in the Adabi kachari. Whatever you think you learn from the teachers, and I was very privileged to sit Ustad Bukhari's kachari, for example. Listening his poetry. He inspired us. And then I was very privileged to sit another person's story, and he died. And his name was Aslam Azhar, who was the person who brought Pakistan television to Pakistan. And he was a wonderful teacher again. I remember his son, he is my friend, his name is Arif Azhar. And I remember once we met in Mohenjo-daro civilization, and there was one conference like this, and we were sharing stories. Arif became my friend. And Arif asked me, Sikandar, why don't you come to Karachi? And I sent a message to my family that I'm going to Karachi. So I went from Mohenjo-daro to Karachi, and then Aslam Azhar took me and showed me Karachi and everything, and he inspired me. And the inspiration was that you can go beyond what is not there yet. Don't think where you are, but think where you can be, where you could be. And the world of can be and could be is very big. So don't limit yourself just because of one circle, or two circles, or three circles. At this moment of time, we have maybe 4 circles. But when you overlap them, when you create connections, you don't know how many circles you can create. And one of the reasons, like Hassan have showed us, how machine is creating connections, which is our invention. Imagine how many connections you can create through your minds. Imagine how many connections you create through your interactions. I would say timeless, limitless, spaceless, whatever. So don't forget that. Your mind is much more than what you think. Because sometimes doctrinations, sometimes false thinkings, sometimes limitations can limit you. But don't limit yourself. That is another thing. So this urge of not being limited, the urge of to explore not yet, brought me where I am. And in between there are many stories. And if you want to listen, I would tell you many stories. But in this whole process, just few things that coming from such a humble background, I worked almost 8 years at Aga Khan University and I was offered several scholarships, but I chose Denmark. Reason, because I wanted to follow the passion, and passion was, how can I connect mathematics with social justice? That is my research field. And if you want to understand a little bit more, come and talk to me and we can converse. Converse word, if you go to the Latin, it means to talk together, to see together. And I think that this is a beautiful example where we are all sitting together and sharing our stories to inspire and to tell that, look how we are all relevant to each other. And to the end, I would say, please don't limit yourself. Until only limitation that exists is death. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. At the 8:30, the dinner will be ready, but still you have a chart. Even after 8:30, you have a lot of chart. This is your function, get blood function.